You may have heard of CD plus G, Compact Disc plus Graphics, an extension of the CD format which was primarily used for karaoke. In a normal CD player, it plays just like a normal music CD. But on a CD plus G compatible player, including some DVD players, it displays text and graphics on a built-in or attached TV screen, so you can sing along to the music. Well, did you know there was a cassette tape equivalent to CD plus G that also had the capability of displaying lyrics on a TV screen in time to the music for use of karaoke while retaining playback compatibility with normal audio cassette players? It was called Super K. It wasn't nearly as popular or as long-lived as CD plus G, but it definitely did exist. They called it the only lyrics on TV karaoke audio cassette, Super K. The first Super K player was introduced in 1993 by Lone Star, and it looks just like the ordinary cassette karaoke machines that you still see clogging up the aisles in thrift stores today, except it also had a video output on the back for connecting to your TV. It was unveiled at the Summer Consumer Electronics Show in June 1993. It was called the Singolodian, and there were two models available costing between $180 and $250, and each 5-song tape cost about $10. As of March 1995, RCA had released more than 110 Super K cassette titles. And here are two RCA Super K karaoke cassettes, both of them still sealed, and one of them still has the original price tag, $9.97. I don't see an obvious date code here, but it was definitely sold at Kmart. Oh, and that's a cutout. They drilled out the barcode, which means this did not sell, so they put it in the bargain bin, and this hole drilled through the barcode means it could not be returned. So inside it, you get the cassette and this sheet with the lyrics for all the songs and a helpful hint. If this tape does not initially provide on-screen lyrics, please try loosening the tape in quotation marks by fast-forwarding approximately halfway and then rewinding. RCA Special Products. And here's opening the other one, which does not have the barcode drilled out, but it does have this orange sticker on it, so I don't know what that means. Let's see if this one also has that helpful hint. No, it doesn't, so maybe that was a later edition. And they're both standard Type 1 ferric tapes. You can tell by the slightly brown color of the tape itself. But there's no indication that these were made with Dolby noise reduction, which is unusual because during the time, 1993, virtually all pre-recorded cassette tapes had Dolby noise reduction, but maybe these don't. And playing these Super K tapes in a normal cassette player, they both sound perfectly normal.
Call me unpredictable.
They do the normal karaoke thing where they have a guide vocal in one channel and the music in the other channel, so using your balance control you can choose whether to listen to just the vocals or just the music.
Call me.
Now if you're looking for a Super K karaoke cassette player, unfortunately you don't have much choice, because besides the ones made by Lone Star, they only granted a manufacturing license to one other company called Aztec. And here is an Aztec Super K video karaoke player with a double cassette deck, presumably to let you record your fantastic singing and make tapes of it to give to your friends. And it has various controls here. It has two microphone inputs on the front. There's the big Aztec logo. You get volume controls for those two inputs, an echo function, very typical of a karaoke machine, power on-off button, pitch speed, balance, and volume. Nothing on the sides. On the back, it has a channel 3 or 4 and an RF output, so it has a built-in RF modulator, because back in 1993, a lot of TVs did not come with any AV inputs, but this also has composite video output and left and right stereo audio outputs. It runs on 9 volts AC, 500 milliamps, and strangely it has a MIDI output. I don't quite know what that would have been used for. And that's about it. It's a very simple device, no built-in speaker because it's designed to use your TV as the speaker. On the bottom, it doesn't have the typical sticker indicating the manufacturer, the serial number, or where it was made. It looks like there's a cutout for one, but instead it just has a QA passed sticker and some kind of sticker that looks like it says 031, so maybe some kind of date code. It came with this tape in it when I got it. It doesn't say Super K on it, but it does say Video Karaoke, and taking a closer look at it, it's all in Italian. For example, instead of a side, it says Lato. It's from BMG Areola SPA. So this is clearly not a US market tape. So that seems to indicate that the Super K system did have some exposure over in Europe. But instead of Super K, it looks like they called it Conta 2 Video Karaoke. That means something like You Sing. And thanks to eBay, I found the Italian version of the machine I have. It has both the Super K and Conta 2 logos on it. On the back, next to the RF output, it has a PAL B sticker, and it lacks a channel selection switch. And on the bottom, it does have a sticker indicating it was made in China. The box said it came with a free Super K cassette and a microphone. When I connect it to a TV and turn it on, it is putting out a video signal, but it's just a blank black screen, so there's no splash screen or any kind of graphics. And it's the same thing when playing a normal music cassette tape. You hear the music coming through the TV speakers, but there's nothing on the screen. Now let's try putting in one of those Super K karaoke cassettes and see what happens. It says all songs play on side A only. 5 cuts with guide vocals followed by 5 cuts without guide vocals. Do not play side B. It shows some red text, so it does support multiple colors of the on-screen text while the tape is playing. It shows the song title and the key it's in. And there it goes. It's showing the lyrics and it's highlighting the current word and phrase being sung to help you follow along.
The morning we roll along, baby, blue sky above. Everyone's in love, up a lazy river. How happy we'll be, up a lazy river with me.
Now here's the other Super K karaoke cassette in the style of Frank Sinatra, and this time I'm going to try starting it in the middle of a song and see what happens.
Call me unpredictable. Tell me I'm impractical. Great.
It took a few seconds, but it did eventually catch up to what was being sung in terms of the lyrics being displayed on the screen. It started out just displaying a blank highlight, but then the words started appearing within a few seconds, so that wasn't too bad. Now here's what happens when you stop it. Again, the text stays on the screen for a couple seconds and then goes blank. At the end of the song, it shows the songwriters and the copyright date and says it was used with permission, so there's some additional text that is not included in the song's lyrics. And finally, here's that Italian tape so we can see how that looks when we start it. Has the same jingle that it starts out with, but the text on the screen is, as you might have guessed, in Italian. I think it's saying the same thing it said in English, just translated. Saying not to play side B. This time at the beginning of the song it shows the songwriters and the title. Also shows the publisher. Quite a long intro before the lyrics start on this song. And it's the same basic idea, just in Italian instead of English. Some serious dot crawl going on though. The quality of the video output is not very good, and the choice of red text on a blue background for the word being sung is not very good because it has a lot of color bleed. I'm going to try the pitch control now. It's still following along accurately. I'll speed it up. So it's not pitch shifting, it's just adjusting the speed of the cassette. So if you want a higher key, it's going to play faster, and if you want a lower key, it's going to play slower. Now you may wonder what would happen if we do something it specifically warned us not to do in both English and Italian, and that is try to play side B. Because even on the tape itself it says side B does not play, and the same thing in Italian. The curious thing is this one shows the Dolby symbol only on the side B, which is not supposed to be playable, whereas it does not appear on side A. So here's what happens if we do try to play side B, despite its warning not to. We get computer noise coming out of the TV speakers. So you just got a lot of buzzing and squealing noises. So it's not going to harm anything, you'll just have loud noises coming out of your TV speaker. And flip it back over to side A. And within a few seconds it's going to recover and start showing the lyrics. The end. So, as you might have already guessed, it uses a 4-track head to play what would normally be both sides of the tape, but in this case, the first 2 tracks, which is the A side of the tape, contains the music, and the other 2 tracks, which would normally be the B side, contains the data track, which provides the lyrics and text to be displayed on the screen. But you may have noticed I was playing everything on the right side B deck, and that's because the left side A deck does not have a 4-track head. It just has a standard stereo 2-track head. So if I try to play the Super K karaoke tape in the A deck,
Somewhere
we hear the music, but there's no lyrics appearing on the screen because it's unable to pick up that data track on what is effectively the other side of the tape due to lack of a 4-track head.
problemi zero, problemi a non finire. Un giorno sembra l'ultimo, un altro è da impazzire, ma se
And unfortunately, at this point I've described pretty much everything I know about the Super K karaoke cassette system. I know that it exists, and I've demonstrated it working, and I figured out that it uses a 4-track head with the music on 2 of the tracks and data on the other 2 tracks, but otherwise there's just not much information about this system out there. The only thing more I can really learn is if I take this apart and look at some of the circuitry inside, maybe I can find some data sheets for the ICs inside, and maybe that will tell us a little bit more about the technical details. This is the first cassette deck I've seen that has an RF shield, but once you unscrew and remove that, you can see the main circuit board. In the middle is the motor for the cassette deck. It uses one motor for both decks. It's a Mitsumi motor. Then the next thing that catches your eye is this large integrated circuit with a handwritten label saying NTSC. Then next to it is a Motorola SC412297P chip. Unfortunately, I was not able to find any specific information about this chip. Plenty of websites trying to sell me one, but none of them tell me what it does or offer a datasheet for it. The next largest chip on the board is a Harris CD22402E chip, which is a video sync generator. Also related to the video circuitry is this Motorola MC13077 chip, which is an RGB to NTSC or PAL converter chip, which supports both composite and S-video, although obviously the S-video feature is not used in this application. On the audio side of the circuitry is a Toshiba TA8189 chip, which is the main recording and playback preamplifier chip for the cassette deck, including the automatic level control for recording. It's right next to the record playback switch and a bias oscillator coil, so this does have AC bias recording. The only other integrated circuits of note are the MN3102 and MN3207, which form a bucket brigade device which provides the echo effect for the microphone input. Underneath the board is another RF shield with factory-equipped pieces of styrofoam to keep it from shorting out against the circuit traces. And underneath that is a very standard Tanishan style cassette mechanism with more pieces of styrofoam glued to it. The belts do not appear to be in imminent need of replacing, so I'm going to leave them alone for now. Seems to be working fine. There may be another integrated circuit or two underneath this metal shielding, but it's soldered in place and underneath this big ribbon cable, so I'm going to leave it alone. Don't want to risk damaging anything. And nothing else really of note except that all the circuit boards say B901 on them. So maybe that's the model number of this device. Now I have a microphone connected, and I just wanted to demonstrate the echo feature. So it makes a squealing, a high-pitched squealing, but as I turn it up, you can hear the echo effect, which is definitely not very impressive. It's very subtle. Unfortunately, Super K didn't stay on the market for very long, but it was not due to lack of interest from consumers. As of March 1995, RCA said that over 500,000 Super K karaoke cassettes had been sold. But unfortunately, just 3 months later, it all came to a screeching halt thanks to a good old-fashioned patent dispute. According to this article from March 1996, they said one karaoke format casualty last year, which was 1995, was Super K, audio cassette with graphics played on the TV, due to unresolved litigation between format developer Micro W and licensee Lone Star Technologies in Hicksville, New York. According to Lone Star President Larry Richardstein, after we shipped some units without the proper patent label in 1994, no accommodation could be reached, and all products stopped last June. I looked up the patent that was at the center of that dispute, and it actually doesn't have anything to do with karaoke or putting lyrics on a TV screen. It's actually describing a method of recording MIDI data from a keyboard to a cassette tape and then playing it back through a synthesizer. But yet, that's the patent whose number appears on all of the Super K cassettes, including the Italian one. Yes, it is rather cuckoo the way it all came crashing down for Super K due to a silly patent dispute, but that's the way it goes sometimes in the world of business. A good idea can come to a sudden end for reasons out of the control of the consumer who may be interested in buying it, and one day it just disappears from the store shelves.